Shalom, folks. Next up, if you didn't see my previous one on what is a Muslim, you better read it, because you got to go there before we go into what is Islam. Go back and do it. It's a previous video. Okay, how do I view Islam? What is Islam? I'll let you think about it. Go ahead, give an answer. What is Islam? All right. What I say is many misinformed people refer to Islam as a religion. Misinformed. But Islam is a nation. You don't believe me? Type in Islam nation in your computer search engine and have at it, folks. You know, it's not a recognized nation as we know it through the United Nations. But Islam is, according to Islam, is a nation. It's a nation made up of many nation states. All right? Islam is a nation who knows no boundaries, knows no borders. You ever wonder where the notion of removing the borders comes from? Islam is a nation who knows no borders. I got to ask you, when did this notion of no borders come about? How long ago was it? Who was president of the United States at the time? Makes you wonder, don't it? Okay, the Islam Constitution is referred to as Sharia law. It's part of their holy books, one of their doctrines. Islam is a nation made up of many Islamic states. These states feud with each other with the desire of being the one state that will become the head of the nation. And the states each have their own state religion, their own form of their state religion, which they each call Islam. And there's going to be many variations. And the one state who wins the battle gets to become the head of the nation of Islam. And their particular form of Islam will become the nation's religion. But primarily, Islam is a nation. We can't look at Islam as a religion. It has to be looked at as a nation. A nation who knows no boundaries, that's operating within the boundaries of our nation, the United States of America, and other nations, because they know no boundaries. So Islam must be treated as a foreign nation, all right, operating within the bounds of our country. It has to be treated that way. It's a foreign nation occupying our country. The religious part is a minor part and is part of one of the many foreign states. These foreign states are coming together against their common enemy, the United States of America. Islam is made up of a type of trilogy. The Quran, which is said to be what the Spirit spoke to Muhammad, makes up about 14% and is divided into Mecca or Medina sections. And as some believe, the latter writing rules over the previous writings. Peaceful Mecca or Medina, the other side. The Hadith, which is said to be what Muhammad spoke, right? The Quran is what the Spirit spoke to Muhammad. The Hadith is what Muhammad spoke. Makes up about 59% of Islam. The Siri, which is said to be what Muhammad did, makes up about 27%. So you have the Quran, the Hadith, and the Siri. The multifaceted aspects of the Nation of Islam jihad is what we're going to go into next. And these are gleanings from information collected in relation to the Holy Land Foundation trial. This happened after 9/11. And something happened that some things were revealed. We'll get into it here. So the trial and other information gleaned from ex-Islamic terrorists. I get this information from ex-Islamic terrorists, people who have left Islam, and their reason as a child and growing up was to be an Islamic terrorist. And I do not say all people who practice Islam are terrorists. I don't say that. But there are some who are. Let's face reality, right? The individuals I got this information from were. And things happen in their lives, and they're not anymore. So they were free enough to share this stuff. And on my Facebook page, there's a link to the investigative project report where you can read some of the information that was found and used in the Holy Land trial, and check it out and all. Okay, it's investigativeproject.org. Okay, jihad. Jihad is a holy war waged on behalf of Islam as a religious duty. All right, there's many types of jihad. The one we are most familiar with is military jihad, where it's violent with firearms and knives and things, and people's heads get cut off and that type of thing. That's a military jihad. It makes up about 3% of jihad. Isn't that something? The one we pretty much see 100% of is really only 3% of jihad. Beyond that military jihad, which is 3%, there's what is called stealth jihad, which is actually working in peace. So when you hear a lot of times you hear Islam is peace, this is stealth jihad. Then you have political jihad. The most easiest example of that would have been probably Huma Abedin, and other political people who were involved in politics throughout the world. That this was the one in America. And of course, when things got changed within the FBI and the State Department in America, and their manuals got changed to relook at things, that's political jihad. And that's what's going on in America. And it was going on heavier a few years back. But still, this is still what's taking place, I should say. Jihad of the womb. That is when you impregnate your wife or have many wives and impregnate them, and the population just grows exponentially versus other populations that say, oh, we probably only should have 2 children because we don't want to overpopulate the world. But jihad of the womb says, no, let's have a lot of wives and a lot of children. Marriage jihad. That is when someone comes into this country and marries someone of the country and raises children and converts them to Islam. Financial jihad, getting in control of the banks. When we know Islam is in a country, is in the areas there's lots of oil, lots of wealth, and lots of finance, right? Financial jihad. Sharia law jihad, right, which is the Islamic constitution. If you look and listen, you will see there are areas in the United States of America that want to exercise Sharia law as their law of their communities. Okay. Immigration jihad. Al-Hajr, the ultimate migration. All right? Migration jihad. That's what we're all talking about border crossings. All right? It's part of jihad. Education jihad. Who's writing your textbooks, folks? Who's teaching your teachers? You look into it, okay? Would you please? Banking jihad. Judicial jihad. That's enabling Sharia law again and working through our court system. Entering into the political realm, and you do it peacefully. And when there's a larger number, you can do it more advancedly. And religious jihad. That's converting people to Islam. All right. Methodology. A major obstacle when dealing with Islamists. Al-Taqiyya. Al-Taqiyya is a prescribed lying doctrine. It's okay to lie to further the cause, right? The ends justify the means. Al-Taqiyya. Al-Maruna. When facing an enemy, make up any story to befriend your enemy until they become your slave. Laugh with them in their face, but curse them in your heart. Never give up to them. Al-Kitman. Use peaceful Mecca when necessary, or radical Medina. All right, those three things. Al-Taqiyya, prescribed lying doctrine. Al-Maruna, when facing an enemy, make up any story. This is major difficulty for us. And it's a sad thing, because we want to believe our Muslim friends. They're people, and we're witnessing to them. And man, with these doctrines, these things being part of their doctrine, you always got to beware. This is tough stuff. If you don't know what Al-Taqiyya or Al-Maruna is, study it out, because this is a difficult thing, and we got to deal with it because it's here. All right. Other areas of activity in America. Mountain of politics. Replace policy like the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, replace people. Mountain of media. Control the media. Mountain of education. Control the textbooks, publishers, charter schools, Common Core, public education, and universities. And man, look at the universities, right? Sharia court. Mountain of religion. Oh, hate speech. Label everything a hate speech and say you can't say that. It's the opposite of free speech. Suppress speech, the freedom of speech, and call everything else hate speech. It's the opposite of free speech. And a lot of that's what's going on. It suppresses not only the truth, but also its people. And to quote an ex-Islamic terrorist, the Muslim is the slave, Islam is the slave master. May we all be set free. And that's how I see it. Be set free, people, and set your Muslim friends free by speaking to them. All right? It's not hate speech. Love them. Love them up. Shalom. See you later.